versus Orbit. We'll be able to check out these two teams. And we got the Booze on for support, Light Sledge. He's been very strong with his AD carries. A number of great players here.
Game number 1, Orbit Meat Playground. Meat Playground on blue side with the first pick, first ban. Alistar going to be the first one out of the gate here. And it's not too uncommon. Alistar is a pretty common ban, but one of the big things, if you're playing up against Orbit, I think a lot of teams actually figured out the common junglers that Hell9 likes to play, Alistar being one of them. It's just fortunate that not only is it a ban against Orbit, he's just a good all-around ban, period.
Yeah, no, he is a very strong ban. I mean, it's a pretty common ban, but I don't know. I'm excited to see these players. It's been a while since we've seen them. Just we've had so many tournaments recently, but it's the PAX NA regionals, and Yuzuki, his Darius has been really strong. But it's kind of interesting because I think X-Hazard plays Jace, and I'm not positive on that, but just based on what we've seen from him, I know he plays a lot of like Nidalee and things like that. I believe he plays Jace, and that would be an interesting matchup because Jace just is a hard counter to Darius. But I don't know. I'm excited to see these teams, what we can see out of them. And, Pobelter, what he's started doing again in the mid lane, because he has looked very comfortable in that mid lane, since he's transitioned down from top.
So we got the rest of Vans coming in. Twisted Fate, Zyra, Malphite, and Vlad. All going to be taking out a lot of stuff aimed at the mid lane, some stuff aimed at the jungle. But Nunu is left open. We've seen this time and time again. Nunu is a very, very big, fluffy, popular Yeti these days. Definitely worth the first pick. And in response, Orbit, they're going to take that Jace. They're going to grab Sono while they're at it also. And we saw this morning, when in fact actually running Jace bot AD. But, Jace, let's be real here. His biggest home is top lane.
Yeah, it really is, but I'm kind of curious what Meat Playground's going to go right now, because I feel like Morgana would be a really safe pick, and we have seen that Pobelter has played a lot of Morgana in the past. Definitely pick up their AD as well, whichever one they're comfortable with. It's really kind of interchangeable between the big three. Usually, it's a surprise when you see something outside of them.
And the big three being?
Well, Ezreal, Graves, and Corki. I really shouldn't have to go into it.
There are new people starting to play LoL every day. They gotta know. This is info they gotta know.
That's true. Those are your really main 3 AD carries, and they're just so superior to everyone else. But they're going to be jungling Nunu, so going ahead with the Blitzcrank, and Blitzcrank does work very well versus Sona. That will be a very strong matchup. Nunu does very well against Sona. He's a little bit too tanky for Sona to harass down, but the burst harass from Sona can be pretty disruptive.
Yep. And Nunu's good like that. He can just go into the jungle. He can go bot. We've even seen some Nunu top lane just to be annoying for annoying's sake. But again, very versatile champ, and he's also good at that counter jungling if given the opportunity. Skarner going to be picked up here for Orbit. Pretty good Scorpion. And
I'm kind of surprised they're not going with the Morgana here, because this is a really, like, the kind of team comp they're running would be very common with the Morgana, because it's almost the exact same thing. We've seen Fnatic run, and we've seen some other teams run. Jace, Sona, Skarner, and then Morgana. It's a lot of single target pickoff potential, and I don't know, they could go from there.
Yeah, just mulling over the available options. So then you got some mid picks, you got some bot lane picks, and there will be the Sivir looking to help push, looking to help harass. And, Sivir's been picked up quite often lately, and her pushing potential is awesome. And that Boomerang Blade, just on its own, if given the right opportunity, if given the right angle, can really just get that range on a lot of those poke-oriented champs like Ezreal, like Graves.
And right now, Meat Playground, they have to recognize Orb is going for a really push-oriented strategy, and Skarner is he's a very fast jungler. He's one of the best junglers that when you have split push lanes, Jace is a split pusher, Sivir is, an aggressive pusher, that when you have these split push lanes, Skarner can roam around the map, try and make things happen. So the Meat Playground, they need counter pushers, and they need heavy initiation, because those are, the two biggest things. So in that case, they need a nice AoE clear in the mid lane, and Morgana gives them both. Morgana gives them the clearing and also gives them the heavy CC AoE team that they need. Cho'Gath also a clearer. He's will be very comfortable in that top lane, and not a common pick. Like Cho'Gath, you don't see a lot of Cho'Gath, but he is going to be very safe in that top lane. He's kind of a set it and forget it kind of champion.
And Gragas being considered here for the last pick, the AP mid to round out the rest of Orb. But I will say though, like the Johnny and me is kind of like, I wish there was a hack room here.
The Johnny in you?
Old magic, old magic term.
Well, no, I thought that's what you were going with that.
The Johnny and me just wants there to be a heck room in the jungle, because look at all the movement speed this team from Orbit can provide. And I want to see it one of these days so bad, but Skarner is definitely the safer option. It's just, one day.
And Gragas is clearly the pick in this situation, and they have the mobility. They want to kite in and out. When the fights are happening, they can kite in and out. They can poke with both Jace and Gragas. Then they want to just pick one person off, and that's what Gragas is really strong at. He is the disengage that you need, but he can also just burst someone down. And Gragas is also a very strong lane versus Morgana. Will be a really safe thing there. Oh, wow. Very cool.
Wait, the countdown is still going. We don't know.
I'm a believer already.
No, don't.
All right.
We still got a few seconds. Just calm down.
I'm
just as excited as you are, but this isn't confirmed yet. We just have to make sure. This is a potential Nunu top lane, which, if you haven't played against it, can be very annoying. It's very similar to laning top lane against a Warwick, and just have so much sustain on one of your abilities. And there's a switch. Okay, so it will be Chotop. If you ever face up against Nunu top lane, it's like, I'm going to harass this Nunu. This is going to be awesome. He just ate a minion, and now just...
Well, you play AP Nunu, and you just keep on running at them and snowballing them in the face. And since Jace doesn't have any sustain inherent or any shields, he's actually very susceptible to that kind of play. And it would be very, very unusual, but I'll be honest, it would be fun. I would enjoy it. But
fun is good.
Cho'Gath is what we were expecting. It will be a very safe matchup.
But let's check the runes and masteries anyway, just to be, just to see what he's running, just for everyone at home.
Health regen.
Interesting.
So armor, health regen, and magic pen. And so the health regen, it's really just he's planning on heavy sustain. He has lots of health regen. So he's going into lane with plus 11 health regen, plus Cho'Gath's passive. And he's going to get some early armor, buy a couple of cloth armors early, a chain vest or whatnot, Ninja Tabby. And then just Jace will never be able to deal enough damage to him. So that's definitely going to be a pretty cool matchup for him.
And then stack that on top to a potential Philosopher's Stone for the GP10. There's just so much regen to contend with. You just might as well just stop trying at that point.
Yeah, no, we'll have to see how he's going to build, but it will be a gold pretend build most likely. Pretty common defensive masteries, 021-9 on Nunu, but also running movement speed, and that's always been Nunu's strength as a jungler. Movement speed plus the Blood Boil. He can jungle with any sort of runes and mastery setup usually, so that'll be pretty safe. Cleanse on Sivir. So not only does she have her shield, but she also has the cleanse. Will be very safe in that regards. Can just farm carefully. They don't want to allow anyone to get picked off. Nice little mix of stuff here. Has some mana regen for that boomerang blade.
Yeah, basically it's the extra level of insurance to run that cleanse on the Sivir. Granted, yes, you do have the innate spell shield, but it'd be unrealistic for really anyone, even most high-level pros, that you're going to hit the spell shield every single time is there. Might as well just be safe. But it also gives a telltale sign that bot lane for Orbit, they're not looking to be all too aggressive, not searching for the kills. They may just be content with just pushing, because usually if you're going to see an AD go super aggressive, it wouldn't be too uncommon to see an ignite. But cleanse is going to be it's going to make the lane a little bit more passive for Orb.
And if you guys haven't seen it, this is basically the standard rune page for a AoE clear jungler. Udyr will do this. Skarner, those are the two main junglers that you'll see this with. You can see it on a couple others, but it's movement speed, Quince. You run attack speed instead of going with like armor pen or something, and you just go defense, and you have the movement speed to just run around, clear really quickly, and just pressure all the lanes. Kind of some defensive rooms here. So this is just kind of a standard page. Shaiwan only has 2 pages because he hasn't been playing that long. And so his 2 pages, he has one with ability power and just standard defense. The next one, physical damage. So he's got his AP page. He has his damage page.
But then again,
I like that. This is my kind of guy.
But Orbit, they're a very resourceful guy. Nintenso, doesn't he also have like two room pages and that's it?
I don't remember, but I mean, if you're only playing AD, that's That's a different story, but yeah, that might be the case.
Because I remember there's a thread a while back. It's like he managed to get this far only having 2 rune pages. How's that possible? It's like, well, you can do it.
A beast. Like when you watch the Intenso play, his AD is just phenomenal. Like he's one of the best AD players in the game. Sivir is a really nice matchup against Blitzcrank, and Sivir Sona lane is a pretty common lane. Sivir has a really high ratio on her boomerang, so she takes advantage of the buffs that Sona's going to give her, and we see that nice little sexy skin.
But, well, actually,
showing some flair.
Bot lane is just going to be just a fantastic parcel of packages. Just Sona and last year's pack Sivir.
Yeah, the personification of personality parcels per bind. I don't know. That was really not very good. But we'll continue into this game.
Pancreas.
Meet Playground versus Orbit. And, yeah, we'll get to check out what these guys are going. Are you still mumbling P words?
Things that start with the letter.
I picked the Purple Pepper Piper. I don't know.
This is not. Well, no, this isn't Sesame
All right,
Street.
Regardless. Here we go. We're in game. We'll be able to check this out. Both teams have a fairly strong level 1. Meet Playground in particular, if they can pick someone off. Oh. But Orb, they are waiting for it. They are ready for it. Sona isn't there, though.
Common defense spot.
Oh, he peeked out. Did they see him? I don't think they did.
I'm not so sure. I don't think so. But Sona is not with the team. You do have the bind coming in onto Yuzuki, still trapped in a bush. The hammer gonna bash Morgana away out of that situation. And this could be Meet Playground's opportunity to just go deeper in for this invade. Erwin Boost is out in front. The grab on the high L9. The Vine coming in once again. The Boomerang Blade's doing damage, but no, Skarner will be the first one to go down in this engage, in this invade. First blood to the Ezreal, and King Ink getting very low. So is Erwin Boost. Light Sledge is a little bit far behind, but the nice rupture, but Intenso will kill. Keep on going. Orb still looking hungry. Double kill onto Intenso. Nice job, but still the first blood still goes credit.
So unusual because it felt like such careless play from Orb because they had a nice game plan coming forward. They're like, all right, let's sit in this brush. We recognize a lot of times they're just going to check this brush. They're going to walk right into us. They have really nice AoE. Gragas Barrel, Skarner, Sona has the burst, Sivir has the burst, but then High L9 peeking out when they already knew they were in the bush, like. They already got lucky enough that Erwin Boost didn't hit the first grab, but then sitting there and peeking out was kind of unusual. But we do see there is already a lane swap. Jace is very strong in that 1v2 lane. He has the range to farm. He can also clear minions with his Q once he hits level 5. He can clear the ranged minions very easily with an EQ combo. But Sona and Sivir, they're going to make that lane hell for Cho'Gath up top.
And it's just weird, too, because both teams, both kills went to both AD carries. And very similar builds coming in. You do have Doran's Blades go into both of the carries. He also got a mana pot onto the Ezreal, so he's looking to spam those abilities, get the push on.
I think half of the reason they might do a lane swap is Sivir doesn't want to lane against 2-carry Ezreal. I know that's not true.
Well, it's still even, but there's so much more to be gained, I think, here in this situation if you do the swap.
Well, yeah, they do have a really nice situation for themselves. So coming in with this game plan, they can completely zone Xhazard. He's in a really dangerous spot. He does have a ward. He does have 4 health pots. And so with all that regen, he should be okay once he can get some armor. But Intenso should be able to abuse him a little bit there.
What is Yuzuki doing? He's just kind of like existing down bot lane. He's just waiting.
He's just checking around. He needs to wait anyway for the minions to hit his tower.
Also true.
So he's just sitting for the minions to wait his tower because he's not going to do anything anyway. And wanted to go check by the river in case he saw anyone maybe roaming to mid or whatnot. If he saw Blitzcrank roaming towards mid.
Also true. Hyle9 still working on his jungle path ward defensively.
Expert Blitzcrank tactics.
Waiting for it. He's just waiting for the pull. He's just waiting for something, anything. But look, this is very effective. It's very simple zoning, but it's very effective zoning. Shy One getting the belly onto Pobelter. Was looking for a potential steal, just edging on out, trying to get some vision onto the Wraiths. But Shy One will punish him for it. For that, for a little bit of curiosity. Hyle9 maneuvering on up to the top lane, but Xhazard is too far pushed in, but he will go around the long way, could go for a very early dive. Meanwhile, Yuzuki down bot lane. Light Sludge did get the damage down and will not die to the tower nor the ignite. Meanwhile, top lane, Hyle9 going behind. Xhazard getting chunked out big time.
Yeah, and Lemon Nation tanking the turret for a second
Very
was
well.
very easily
Very well
able
done.
to pick that up. In the meantime, Light Sludge, actually, they just chased him down. I'm assuming that Erwin Booz had a pull before then.
Yeah.
But I don't know, nice play for them to grab that. And it's interesting to me. I wouldn't naturally think that Cho would be, the strongest at taking a 1v2, but he does have really nice regen. He has ranged farming as well. And that's actually Hotshot, when they used to do 1v2s, that was his favorite lane. It is actually an exchange. And so Nunu went bottom. They were able to take down that bot turret. And top turret is also almost going down. So both 1v2s are working out for them. But Hotshot, when he was playing top lane, he used to 1v2 as Cho'Gath some. And once you get that armor, as long as you can walk up to the minion waves, you should be okay. But it's really difficult. That tower is almost down. If they can exchange that, we'll see whether or not they send their bot. No, bot for Meat Playground. It's still going to be going up against Jace in the bot lane.
Yep. And this is the most ideal situation you can have when you do a lane switch, is to take that tower before the 5-minute mark. And it's most champs do it. If you can get that really quick, really easy kill, that is also ideal. Get a little bit extra gold while you're at it. So now that, well, actually, how much top tier 1 didn't actually go down. I thought that minion wave was going to be more than enough to do it. How much health does that thing have?
Yeah, it's not very high. It's at like 100 HP. Just one more attack, actually, 9 HP.
You can blow on that thing, it'll fall over.
Yeah, it will drop fairly quickly, and they are actually sending Sivir and Sona bottom, so they're going to match up against Blitz and Ezreal. They don't want to allow Ezreal to snowball anymore, and there is a potential that Jace will be shut out of that game. Cho'Gath, could deal with the lack of farm, because he's going to go with a gold pretend build anyway, but Jace really needs to get into his items, and I don't know, we'll see how that's going to affect him early on, and whether he can still pressure Cho'Gath, because I think Jace would have an early advantage against Cho, but if Cho gets too deep, then the regen might be a little bit too much for him.
And both Jace, I'm trying to combine them all. Jeez, what am I doing?
Well, there is a player, Chase on Fire,
yeah.
so I'll forgive you that.
Jace and Cho both got the cloth armor. I think they're both looking to itemize into the Ninja Tab, expecting to still be in 2v1. The hook on the Lemon Nation. A pop-up from Erwin Booz, and Lemon Nation will be going down. You got Nintenso with the cleanse already. Does flash over the wall, double kill for a Light Sludge. This is bad news bears for Orbit.
Yeah, trying to drop the ward does go down fairly easily. X-Hazard, they get the vision with Yuzuki with his Q, so doing a nice job there. So High L9 can just chase right into X-Hazard. They probably could have chased that down, actually, because he could have just attacked the tower once on his way back, but he was a little bit concerned, and they are going for the fast dragon. NK Inc. is getting pretty low, but he's going to be able to take that, pulling it out so he can come back for the smite. It does regen a little bit, but that's going to be okay. So they're able to grab that. High L9 is actually chasing him now, flashing over that minion, or over the rupture, and so he's going to be able to chase down X-Hazard. X-Hazard has no flash. It was used a second ago, and they will be able to take him down.
Wow. So I do want to know here, so Meat Playground, it's 5-4 at the moment. Meat Playground, they do have the 1-kill lead, but every single one of those kills is on Light Sludge at the moment. So that's a lot of gold onto an Ezreal this early on into the game. Only a little bit past 7 minutes, and nice juke away from that boomerang blade. Still manages to get out. He's still hurt. He's still going to have to back. But how much gold is he going to be spending on this back?
He's going to be spending a decent amount, so that's actually a Phage if he decides to go for it. He did get it. Oh, he hasn't gone back yet, so actually he could get a Sheen as well. They are able to pick up this blue. Skarner actually has it, but Morgana with the flash ultimate will be able to get the stun onto Yuzuki. They have the bind as well. He will go down, so very easily take him out. High L9 is still trying to fight this, though. He has Shy One for the backup, the pullback, and then Gragas should be able to get a nice barrel here, but they do have to worry about X-Hazard. NK Inc. still chasing down High L9, along with the Ezreal ultimate. It does miss, but one more snowball will be able to take him down. The Ignite as well, so Cho'Gath actually picks it up and does grab that blue buff.
Shy One could not do anything more with that fight. He was out of mana, and barrels, they cost a pretty penny. Unfortunately, just no more mana to do what he needed to do. But with that exchange out, you do have Yan and Lemon Nation. They are free farming a little bit here in the bot lane, but after everything has been given up, you had to drag and grab from Meat Playground earlier. They've carved out a very nice 2K gold lead for themselves, and we haven't even hit the 10-minute mark yet.
Yeah, and Erwin Booz getting the pull on the blue will be able to steal this over the wall. Jace recognizes they're doing it because the minions are running back forth fanatically.
Out, man.
So he could try and Q over the wall. They just actually reset, so he knows they just took it.
Yeah.
And NK Inc. was able to grab that. So safe play. They're able to take it fairly easily. They had the wards up by the blue, so they were very safe. Like, they recognized while they were taking it, they weren't putting themselves in a dangerous situation where maybe Orb would surround them. But they have a 2K gold advantage currently. A lot of that is due to that dragon that they were able to take, but a lot of that gold, like you said, is centered around Ezreal. So having a Phage and a Sheen at this point in the game is just phenomenally strong. Sivir as well has some pretty decent items, but Ezreal's items, going for the early Triforce, those early items are very strong. The hook, oh, Nihen not expecting it. Can he get over the wall? He is going down very quickly. His flash was not up.
Neither was the cleanse, but then again, the cleanse does not really help.
Yeah, wouldn't have done much there. But the early Triforce items, the best part about building the Triforce is those items are designed for lane control almost. Like the small team fights early on, Phage is just so abusive for lane harass. You just poke in with attacks occasionally. Then if you hit one Phage proc, you can chase them down and just abuse them. Same thing with Sheen. You get a little bit better harass. So Light Sledge in a little bit of an advantage there, despite the fact that Sivir is also pretty strong. The stun actually underneath the tower isn't quite enough to do it, and Light Sledge will just clear this wave so you can get out of there quickly before the rest of the team can surround on him, and they are looking for exactly that. They will try and pick him off. High L9 in pursuit will just barely not be able to get in range.
And he has the Oracle, so when he's done here, he should probably go back and clear the ward in that brush. But he's looking to, he's got the shield for the extra movement speed. Can he get the impale? He does get it. Sivir with the boomerang blade, gonna get the shutdown. Meanwhile, Shy1 looking to deal it out with NK Inc. Interlude boost, and the Blitzcrank ult will be more than enough to take care of the Fat Man. 1-for-1, Orbit, Me Playground, they got what they wanted. Might as well just back off from here.
Yeah, really nice job from Meat Playground turning that around. Even though Gragas was able to come down, he didn't have any impact on getting that Ezreal kill, and they were able to pick up a kill on their own with the AoE that they have. So that'll work out well for them. And they're actually going in for Nihen once again. He does have that shield, so he can try and get out of there. But NK Inc. and Irwin Booz, I think they're going to be a little bit too strong for him. He gets the little juke out on Irwin Booz, but with the red buff and the slow from NK Inc., it's going to be difficult. He does get the flash out. He does cleanse as well, and the turnaround, Orbit actually doing a fantastic job to get him out of there. Irwin Booz trying to come in, and he's kiting, but the snare from Morgana picks him up, and the Morgana ultimate will try and turn this around. Lemon Nation is trapped. Skarner gets out of there, but with NK Inc. here as well, they should be able to get it. He does back off, though, and they actually just barely pick up the kill as Jace walks in trying to turn it around.
Sona, unfortunately, did not have the ult. Used it earlier in the gauge when Ezreal was actually nearby the top tier, bot tier 2 tower, just for a little bit extra harass. So couldn't do a whole lot there. But fortunately enough, High L9 did get out of there, did keep the Oracles intact, but now there's another 1,000 gold that Me Playground has over on Orbit. Not to mention that X-Hazard is just going to town on this top tier 1 tower. It's like, hey, you guys are all down bot lane having a vacation? That's fine, I'll just keep doing my work here.
Yeah, and you can see already they're finishing off their items. The Abyssal Scepter along with the Sork Shoes on Morgana. That's going to be incredibly strong. Damage-wise, it's actually a lot significantly stronger, or it's a little bit stronger than Zhonya's is. Zhonya's gives a little bit more clearing potential for minion waves, but the burst damage from the Abyssal Scepter is going to be a little bit stronger, but it also protects her from Gragas. So she has that shield. She won't have the Zhonya's active, but she will be very strong in these early fights and help out her team. Then you look at Ezreal. He's almost done his Trinity Force. He's going to have a 15-minute Trinity Force at the latest. So he's very close to finishing that, really like 13, 14 minutes. And just as a team, they're starting to finish those items, particularly if they start going for team-oriented items. Like Abyssal Scepter, it's already a team-oriented item and makes very good use of that early gold advantage.
Yen getting caught out once again, forces the ult. Irwin Booz in pursuit. The exhaust going down onto Sivir, waiting for all the CC. There's the close range hook, followed up by the snowball, and Yen has nowhere else to go. Orbit is still looking to converge. Jace is actually back at base, so it's going to be a 3v5 at best for Orbit here until Jace rejoins the rest of the party. Dragon is back up, and Me Playground can just grab it real easy like NK with the Oracles. There's no ward coverage. They will not be seen unless Orbit actually shows their face here, and it doesn't look like they will. Orbit already knows, okay, this Dragon is lost. Might as well just give it up, and the gold lead continues to extend for Me Playground. Not to mention, look at all these GP10s being built. If Me Playground, even if they don't manage to take to extend this lead yet even further, if this does go into the mid game, does go into the late game, the income is going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, but Light Sledge in the meantime chasing down Yuzuki. He gets the knockback, the ignite from Light Sledge, the double ignite, and they will chase each other down. Light Sledge is able to pick up that kill very easily. And it's kind of surprising because the big strength for Orb's team is their pushing potential and to split the map. But because of all the the map control that Meat Playground already has and the roaming from Pobelter in particular, they're dominating. Like, Orbit can't pressure these lanes because they're behind at this point, which means that when you see an example of, Orbit Meat Playground taking that dragon, normally you would expect that Orbit, with the pushing team that they have, they would try and go for a tower. They would push, top second turret, or they push mid or something, but they just don't have the strength to. So Meat Playground's always able to constantly pressure these lanes. The Shy One is going for this blue, and Erwin Boo's trying to get it real quick. He is able to control it, though. So we'll see, what kind of pressure they can get on this game, but right now, Meat Playground is doing a fantastic job, and I'm kind of curious whether or not, we might see Cho or someone build an Aegis really quickly, because it does seem they are going for those team-oriented items, which is making them incredibly strong in team fights, and they're able to roam around the map and pressure Orbit. The Gragas clearing out the minion wave, doing a nice job there, but it doesn't matter. They still lose another turret.
Yep. Aegis on Cho, also a Zeke's Herald on Nunu, not too uncommon to see that on him also. And these are both two huge items if picked up by Meat Playground. Not only are they huge benefits to the team, but they also happen to be huge benefits to one particular champ, and that is Ezreal, who is, again, have to mention, he's 7-1-2 right now, and anything else that can help his damage output will be amazing for the rest of the team. Also, not to mention, just because you're not in a support or a tanky kind of like supportish role doesn't mean you can't get stuff to help out the rest of the team. Case in point, Pobelter on Morgana, the Abyssal Scepter is not just for her. There is still a lot of other magic damage on the rest of Meat Playground.
Yeah, and is a 3v2 turning into a 5v2 up top. Cho'Gath has to get out of there. Hyel9 chasing him down, gets the flash, gets the pullback. Nien should be able to take that fairly easily. Blitzcrank was making his way up, but has to back off. And so, nice little turnaround from Orbit. The Shy One going to be going over that body slam, but they will be able to pressure them, but they're leaving Ezreal unchecked right now because they have no answer for Light Sludge. He's just so strong. Shy One, he gets it with the barrel. Nice job there.
Just let Light Sludge do whatever the hell he wants. Like, he earned it. It's like, you know what? Yeah, you earned your lunch money. We'll let you have the tower. We'll let you have this one for free. But Shy One does have something to say about it. He does have the barrel, brings Light Sludge backwards, but has not drawn tower aggro yet. He actually hit somebody. Nice shift over the wall, plus the flash, clearing so much ground. There's no way that Orbit can pursue him. And there's got to leave and clean up the rest of the mess that he made.
Yeah, but he already got the turret down to half health, and then he pulled the rest of the team away from the top and away from the mid, which is allowing his team to roam. And so Light Sludge, because of the pressure that they're able to put on the lane, particularly with Ezreal, it's pulling Orb all over the map, and that's opening up opportunities for Blitzcrank and Morgana to try and get these snares. The hook, they miss the snare, but Erwin Booz has the follow-up. They pick up Yuzuki very quickly, and they should be able to take this mid turret as a result.
Yeah, X-Hazard doesn't even really need to be with the rest of the team at this point. Just nice choice grabs from Erwin Booz.
Was that a flash?
That was a flash. I think he was waiting to ult, but then at the last second decided it's a really bad idea. Doesn't get the ult on the Pobelter, but the last part of the Morgana ult still procs. Yen is trapped out there, has nowhere to go, and Meat Playground is just running amok right now at this point in the game. It's not even 20 minutes, not even a surrender point yet. And 6K lead.
One thing we've seen from Meat Playground in the past is they are very strong at snowballing a lead when they take one early on in the game. Erwin Booz with another hook and then flashing out there, wants to get away from the Shy One. The Shy One chasing him down. Skarner trying to go after Ezreal in the meantime, and he will actually be able to pick up the kill as Nunu actually picks up the kill onto Gragas. So in exchange there, and actually 3 members are down for Meat Playground currently. Pobelter just respawning. So, Orb, they have something of a turnaround. X-Hazard actually chasing down high here, and he gets the nom. He gets that beast. The silence as well, picks up that kill very easily.
Goodbye, Oracles. Hyel9 going down there with a quick, just only a mere snack for Cho at the moment. And, yep, well, that's pretty much it. There's your man advantage down for Orbit.
What we've seen from Orbit in the past, they've always been very strong at pressuring leads. They're able to snowball games very quickly, partly because they have extremely aggressive play. And we've seen that today, how fast they're moving all around the map, trying to pressure their opponents. But one issue that they've had sometimes is they look kind of sloppy. They would, try for early engages. The bind actually blocks that spell shield, so Cho'Gath can get the rupture.
The level 1 fight was a huge mess.
That's true. The level 1 fight was a big mess. and that's what we've seen from them. A lot of times they'll go for risky early fights. They want to try and push those fights so that they can snowball early. And then also when you force early fights, you know where the opponent is. They're not doing any cheesy stuff on you or pushing or anything like that. But sometimes they fall behind early, and then they aren't able to quite make it, or the games last 50 minutes or something. Not because there's a particularly strong hold off, just because both teams are kind of looking out of it, and that's not the case today. Like we're seeing, Meat Playground, they came in with a pretty nice game plan, other than the level 1. Then there was the lane swap for Orb, actually worked in Meat Playground's favor because they were able to push the tower down incredibly quickly.
And
they were able to get
kill.
the kill. They had the double kill early on, and that snowballed Light Sludge to get to the point that he was in now.
Hey, let's just do a quick update on the gold to see exactly how far ahead he is. 8,600 gold at the moment. And he's 2K ahead of the highest member on Orbit here.
And if you look at the rest of the team, they're still, as a team, all even with or ahead of the rest of Orbit. And then he's just at this phenomenal level, after that. So if they can get rid of Ezreal in these fights, Orb would be in a pretty good situation. And they have the pick-off potential with Gragas and with Skarner. If they get rid of Ezreal, they're going to be almost even in gold. Like that's, it would be an even, 5v5, or actually, 4v4 or 5v4 fight or whatever. But then, Meat Playground would be in a terrible situation missing their AD carry. But we'll see. Ezreal is very safe, and he's just so farmed that he doesn't really have to take a lot of risks in order to get out a lot of damage.
And not to mention, you do have a lot of the right items being built on the rest of the Meat Playground. Bobolter actually almost done with that zone. He's waiting for it. No bind will be happening onto Yuzuki. The pool, just out of anger, is like, here, take this dirt. As you walk away, Barrels thrown in defense from the Shy One just to clear some of the waves, just to get some free harass damage while we still can. IL9, the Impale is up, and you saw him straggling out in front, ducking back and forth, see if he cannot get a stray grab on a member of Meat Playground, because that would be huge, absolutely huge. Ideally, IL9's looking to grab that Ezreal, but nice hook from Erwin Booz over the wall, just stealing the red for a little bit, just gonna annoy you, just for a moment.
Yeah, so they will be able to take that still, but you have to kind of question yourself. And so you see they're playing kind of scared right here. They're backing off as they're taking it because they're not sure if maybe there's someone on the other side of the wall, because they just don't have the map control. The early Oracles has worked out perfectly for NK Inc., and they haven't really been able to do a lot about it. And now we are starting to see, those team items are done, whereas not only is Meat Playground ahead currently, but Orb, they don't have the same team items, the Abyssal Scepter, the Aegis, that Meat Playground already has. They do have a very strong team fight team. They do have great initiation and also, the mobility where they get to pick and choose fights once they're all grouped up. They also have the AoE clearing to stall the game very effectively, with 3 of their members having that, AoE clearing ability. So they can stall fairly effectively, but we'll see, because they're just so far behind Meat Playground, they can't really force any fights right now.
I'm looking at Yuzuki right now. He just got his tier 2 boots, cooldown boots. He's got a BF sword, hasn't even finished a Bloodthirster yet. He's just, it's just a mess when you look at the comparison between these two teams and their current item builds. Just kind of like a strange, like, promise of items to come, really.
Yeah, so we'll see, how well they can hold off with the 3 of them. They, that holy triumvirate of pushing, they shouldn't have much difficulty here. The big concern will be if Meat Playground starts to pressure Baron. And Meat Playground doesn't have a very strong Baron team, but they do have great control with Nunu. It's just that outside of Ezreal, they don't have a lot of damage. So I don't think they're going to force it. There's also the threat that, Gragas has that great stealing potential. But they might allow X-Hazard to just walk up and tank the turret a little bit. The Gragas ultimate does push him back. He's going to take some damage. They throw off the Morgana shield to make sure he gets out of there, but really minimal effects. So he's hardly touched it all, and that was a full Gragas ultimate off to just try and make anything happen.
Waiting at the gate, Orbit is still hugging around the tower, getting whatever poke they can onto Meat Playground, waiting for the next minion wave to come on up, whatever shots can be provided from Jace. Barrels from Gragas. He also got Silver with the Boomerang Brazil. But IL9 right there, right out front, gets it to pull on the light switch, but he does shift away. He is forced out of the fight a little bit, but he can still get out there from a range. Did force the cleanse and manages to 1v1 Yen. You got X-Hazard reaching out in back. Erwin Booz looking to see what he can do against Sona, but that is a 1 for 4. That was the best possible initiation Orbit could have got. Beautiful ultimate from high onto Light Sludge, but they still could not get the kill And Ezreal, he's still mobile. He still had the shift. He still had this flash.
It's interesting because that's one of the issues with the new Gragas. They used the Gragas ultimate just a second ago for that Cho'Gath, and they're actually going for the Nexus. They get the quick burst on Sona. This is going to be game. They're going to take game number 1. But they had used the Gragas ultimate on Cho'Gath right beforehand. And with the Gragas changes, if before it was 20 seconds less cooldown, and he actually would have had his ultimate up by that time, and if Gragas had his ultimate up when High L9 flashed in for that exchange, they actually probably would have insta-killed Gragas. And that's like the change from one patch to the next patch, is that 20 seconds on Gragas, or if he had not used his ultimate on Cho'Gath, they would have been able to pick that up, that kill up, and then maybe that fight turns out a little different. But you saw the follow-up from Morgana, even without Ezreal there, they're able to, you know, clean sweep them fairly quickly. But I don't know, maybe things would turn out a little bit differently. So we'll see, you know, what Orb can do in the next game. But you look at those stats: 190 CS for Ezreal, 9-2 and 6, 23 minutes in. He was incredibly fed early on in the game.
But going back to Gragas though for a second, you know, that extra 20 seconds. This is precisely the situation as to why they made that change. You know, the cooldown was a little bit too short, and I think a lot of people were seeing problems. They're like, hey, we're getting 2 huge ultimates in these long extended fights, and now when you're playing Gragas with the extended cooldown, you have to do proper skill management. Do I really want to use the barrel here? Do I really want to use it for rest? Do I want to use it for creep? Do I want to just save it, hold on to it, and cherish it for those fights? And